everyone, what is up guys? Welcome back to my channel. I moved to Silicon Valley about 6 years ago, and from then on I call this place home. And in this video I would like to share some things that surprised me when I moved here. So if you are interested, please stay tuned. This video is sponsored by Nova Credit. Nova Credit works with companies like American Express and Empower Financial to help people that just moved to the US to get credit card and loans. I will talk about them a bit more later in this video. I first moved to Silicon Valley to intern at Yelp, and I was interning on their Android team as a software engineer. When I moved to San Francisco, the first thing that surprised me the most was that tech is literally everywhere. You know, you go to a bar, you expect people to talk about, I don't know, their hobbies, maybe sports, you expect them to talk about dating, although that actually happens a lot in Silicon Valley too. But in reality, whenever you go anywhere, be it a party, be it a bar, be it a social club, be it even a movie, you hear people talk about tech all the time. The conversation might start something like this: so, where do you work? Oh, wow, that's so cool. Yeah, I checked out the app from this company not so long ago. How many stock options did you get when you got your job offer? Oh my god, and my bonus was $50,000. So that's about how the conversations get started here. People talk about their startups, about the companies they work for, about company benefits, about that cool feature that Facebook just released, literally all the time. And that is something that I didn't quite expect. To be honest, when I first moved, I thought that the fact that there was so much tech was extremely exciting. I would go to one event and then I would find out about this like new app that allows you to track your calories. And then I would go to another event and I would find out about this new developer tool that allows you to be more productive. And I thought that the fact that everyone, like it seemed like everyone had their own idea and startup was super cool, and I was very much absorbing all the different pitches and information, and I would gladly participate in these conversations. However, after living here for some time, sometimes it gets very old. I go to a party and I'm kind of like, oh man, I hope no one asks me what do I do, and I'm kind of reluctant to talk about, you know, my job or what is it that my company is doing that is very innovative and cool. It's kind of like, oh man, you know, just let's talk about what you like doing outside of your work, or let's talk about your background or your family, something like that. So that was probably the most surprising thing that I found out when I moved here first. Second of all, when I moved here, I actually moved to the US for the first time 6 years ago. And US is kind of all about credit scores, credit cards, which was quite different from where I lived before, which was Canada as a student for a few years, and prior to that, Belarus, a country in Eastern Europe. So whenever you go to find housing, let's say you're renting, or you want to lease a car, you want to buy a car, you want to buy new insurance, or you want to apply for a new credit card, it's all completely based on your credit score. Credit score is essentially the system that tracks your spending, it tracks how many accounts you have, it tracks how good you were about paying off those credit cards, it tracks how much money you make, and essentially with all this tracking, it compiles a credit score for you. And that credit score is essentially telling all these different companies that are potentially viewing you as a customer, like even your landlord, is this person reliable in their payments? Is this person someone that I can trust in leasing my property, in leasing my car, in you know, making sure that you're not gonna get into a lot of incidents and will get your credit card payments on time. So essentially that score is kind of like a pulse on whether you're trustworthy. And this score is extremely important to start accumulating and building as soon as you move here, because ultimately a big part of your life is dependent on it. So if you guys are just moving to the US, my main tip for you is to start building up that credit history right away. And I personally wish that when I moved, something like Nova Credit, our today's video sponsor, existed back then. Because when you move for the first time, it's super tough building up completely from scratch. And essentially Nova Credit's mission is to empower international folks that are moving to the US for the first time and haven't had any credit history here before to apply their international credit history to the US credit history history, which is pretty incredible. Nova Credit can also translate your credit history from India, Canada, and other countries to a US equivalent credit rating. So you can check which US credit cards you could already be eligible for. You also can use your credit history from India and Canada, for example, to apply for an American Express credit card through Nova Credit. Translate your score today for free at novacredit.com. Credit cards to loans to apartments, all completely for free. How useful is that? So basically, if you're new to the US and if you haven't started building up credit history, definitely check out Nova Credit. I personally think that they have an incredible and very awesome product. Now that my credit score is in a great place, I can apply for a variety of credit cards with amazing rewards. Like for instance, almost right away I got the Chase Sapphire Reserve that allows me to have the priority pass for different lounges all over the world in the airports. It has amazing travel benefits where it gives you $300 for travel credit and a lot of other perks. And again, I don't have any troubles when I have to move apartments and they check my credit score to see if I'm reliable and if I'm trustworthy. So definitely that's something that you should take care of, and that's something that very much surprised me when I just moved here. Last but not least, and something that was honestly kind of shocking to me, is that Silicon Valley has very poor transportation infrastructure. You know, when I was moving here, I thought that I would be surrounded by huge skyscrapers. I would be pretty much like on Mars, like in a different universe with a lot of tech around me everywhere. Like everything would be automated. I would see robots on the streets. Yes, it's true that I see a lot of self-driving cars right now because there is at least 5 companies in the valley that are trying to emerge this technology, so you see them testing it. However, very basic things like public transport, like the metro, like the trains, like the buses are super rudimental. So for instance, I live in San Francisco and the metro line just covers the south part of the city. So if you live north in the city, so neighborhoods like Peck Heights or the Marina, you pretty much have no way to get there by train because there is just no train that goes there. If you live in South Bay, which is where companies like Facebook, Google, Palantir, LinkedIn are all located, you're probably taking the company shuttle because if you take public transport, you are not gonna have a great time. So that was quite surprising to me. Another thing that was surprising is the fact that the internet in a lot of places is very slow. I believe that that is because of the monopoly of the internet companies. So for instance, Comcast is a very big monopolizing internet provider here, and they're just kind of, you know, they're almost the only company that provides internet services, so they're just kind of behind. And then San Francisco has very old buildings, and a lot of Silicon Valley buildings are also quite old. I think there is some transmission troubles in the strengths of the internet connection. So a lot of the times when I'm in my apartment, I'm like, okay, you know, upload this YouTube video, and then it would literally take me hours to upload something that's only a gigabyte worth. Very surprising when you move to a technological mecca of the world. And then another thing, same can be said about mobile coverage. Sometimes I go into a store on a pretty main street in the city and bam, I have literally no reception. So there is no way for me to accept calls. I'm like, okay, hopefully this place has Wi-Fi so that at least I'm connected to the internet. But you know, Silicon Valley compensates in a lot of other things. Innovation is happening here. There is a lot of very special energy here where everyone is here kind of for a reason. They're here to develop something new and cool. They're here to establish themselves in tech. They're here to follow their technological dreams and work in one of the innovative top tech companies. Smartest people in the world in technology are, despite all these different drawbacks and surprises, are in the valley. So even though these basic things are not necessarily great here, I still love this place for its people, for its energy, for its other infrastructure, and for the opportunities that it gives you. I would actually love to hear from you guys. If you visited Silicon Valley, what were the most surprising things that you thought were here? Please share your thoughts below. I would love to read the comments later and see what you guys are thinking. That is it, guys. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, don't forget to smash this like button, and I hope to see you again for more content on this channel, and I hope you have a wonderful day. As always, bye for now.